Okay, so today I will talk about the App Center, and the topic is to create a free DevOps solution without any shell scripting in just under 1 hour. So first, a few words about me. So who am I? I'm a software architect at the PWPW, which is Polish Security Printing Works. We do some cool stuff like printing money, for example, or producing Polish IDs. Who am I also? I'm a .NET enthusiast, and I've been working with a .NET environment since 2014. I started with the Windows Phone 8. We all know how it went down, so I switched to the WPF, WCF, then to the ASP.NET, then to the .NET Core. And then when the Xamarin started to be free solution, I switched to the Xamarin.Forms, created an app with it. Now I'm writing in the Xamarin native and going maybe more on the backend side of things. So what is my DevOps background? So in 2014, while developing WPF apps, I was doing some one-click deployments, and then we switched to the Squirrel because it was, well, far better. After that, we started working on the first Xamarin app, and we had a huge problem with distributing test versions to our testers. So we found a solution with the Hockey app, which allowed us to upload the APKs and distribute it for free to groups of testers. We also added some Xamarin Test Cloud to find those quirky devices with strange exceptions. And we built the app actually on the Jenkins on premises in our company. Then we moved to the GitLab CI, which was the substitution for the Jenkins, and App Center because Microsoft acquired the Hockey app, and they joined it with the Xamarin Test Cloud and provided one big nice solution for the mobile DevOps. Right now I'm working more with the TeamCity and started developing with the Azure DevOps, but that's not the topic for today. So what is the plan for today? Today I'm gonna show you the very simple app. It's gonna be on Android only because we have only about 40 minutes for creating the DevOps. It's a simple single screen application. It displays the device info with the Xamarin Essentials device info class. There will be no MVVM, no frameworks, pure code behind. Sorry for that. It's not how we do the things at the PWPW, but it's not the point of the presentation, so I didn't bother with that. So let's switch to the Visual Studio. This is the app. It's basically a modified template for the Xamarin.Forms application. The whole logic sits here. It's not complicated logic, as you can see. And the whole view sits in this rather large XAML right here. As you can see, it's quite long. So now let's run it on the emulator and see how it looks like. Yeah, there's no splash screen as well. Okay, so we have a few labels. We have a button, which will then display the device infos. That's all. That's how it looks like. That's how it works. Right now, we can focus on making it more DevOpsy. I have some troubles with my mouse today. Okay. So, so what will we do first? First, we'll add some analytics and diagnostics. And to do that, firstly, we have to set up the App Center app. Then we'll add Nugget packages and build the app, and that's it. with these few steps, you have the working analytics and diagnostic in the app. I will show you that. So let's move to the App Center. We'll create new app. The app name will be Xamarin Warsaw Mobile Demo. It's going to be an Android app. It's going to be a Xamarin app as well. Let's do this. And now we need to add this key to our solution. Let's do that. Let's go. Manage target packages. Browse. So we need to add two packages. Crashes. This will basically send any crash which will occur in your application to the App Center. You can also set up it so the cached exceptions will be sent as well. There's very few simple methods for that. And then we'll go and install analytics as well. And analytics will provide us with the information about the user sessions and such. Okay, so let's see if those installed in both projects. Yes, they are here. Okay, so now we have to start it in the app CS. This will be in the onStart method. First, let's add some usings though. Using App Center. It's Microsoft App Center. Analytics, crashes, and the App Center. And now we have to just let's copy that from here. Okay, and this is the whole setup. Right now we'll launch this application and see what happens in the analytics page on the App Center. So here we are before the launch of the application. We'll have to wait a few seconds or a minute for that to happen. Okay, so we are here. The app is still working, as you can see. And let's now refresh the analytics page. As you can see, it already got the information from the app. We have one user, it's the emulator. We don't log any more information, and it is the first day of the app, so no data to show in those two panes. Okay, so what about the diagnostics? Now we'll have to generate a crash on the app side. So let's quickly add a button to do that. Okay. No automation here needed. Okay. Now here we'll call the special method. and I don't remember what it's called. That's embarrassing, so let's just throw new exception.
Which function are you looking for? I think I remember.
It's the App Center test crash or something like that.
Oh yeah, I just go to next line and just say Microsoft.appcenter.appcenter and then crashes. It should be there somewhere. Oh no,
Well,
one App
it's not
Center
here,
back.
but it doesn't matter. The normal
Oh, okay,
exception
okay.
will work.
All right.
Will work as well. It's the beauty of it, to be honest. You don't know which exception will destroy your app. So that's how it works. So let's run it again. Okay. So let's crash this application. As you can see, it crashed. And what is happening behind? The App Center crashes now gather the information about the crash while the app was closing, and it is waiting in the app in offline mode. So to send it back to the server, we'll have to relaunch the application. Which one is it? Xamarin App Center. It will be this one, I think. Okay. And now in about 1 or 2 minutes, it will appear here. It doesn't, it's not sent at the start of the app, so your app will load a tad bit faster. Let's see if the diagnostics are here yet. No, not yet. So we'll now talk about the build, and we'll go back to the diagnostics later. You'll see that crash in here. So what do we need to build the app at the App Center? So first of all, we'll need to set up a GitHub repo. Then we'll have to create the Java key store file to sign our app. We'll have to create a new build configuration on the App Center, and we'll have to wait about 4 minutes for the App Center to build our application. So let's do this. So first thing first, let's open this file in the File Explorer, start the patch there. Okay, and we will create the GitHub repository. Demo1. Ha, that's a beauty name. Okay, it's going to be public without any extra files. As this will copy the info, and now we need to do some git operation. So let's init. Let's now add the files. Now we have to commit. Okay, now we'll add the remote to origin. That will be this one. So let's check if it worked. It worked. Okay. Now we're going to push our code. Okay. Let's refresh. Let's see if it's done. It's done. Okay, so let's get back to the App Center. We'll see if the diagnostics arrived. Oh. Okay. That's strange, but we'll get back to it eventually. Let's go to the building. So to build now, let's go and create the link to the repository. I'm using my GitHub account to log into the App Center, so it's already here. This will be the correct repository. Okay, let's go to the master branch and let's click configure build. So first we will want to build in the release configuration. Then let's do this with manual trigger. Want to build a bundle, want to increment the version code. We want to sign the builds so we can run it on the devices. And now we need to have this Java key store file. So I will use the free software, the Key Store Explorer. It's a great one if you don't like to write in shell. Okay, to generate a pair. Okay, okay, let's now add the names. Let's go. Okay. And the country, PL. Okay, okay. This will be the alias. I'm gonna copy that. And now we have to set the password. You have to guess my password. It's not a complicated one. And let's save this. Once again, the password. Right. So one little thing with this, you have to add the extension manually, but it's not a big pain. So let's go and upload it. Okay. And now the password, the alias, and the password. You can test this on a real device, but we'll get to the testing later. You can distribute builds. We'll get to that later as well. So we can save and build. Okay. So the build will take approximately 4 minutes. So let's get back to the analytics, the diagnostics, and see what's going on here. Let's get back to the code. So we have it initialized. Analytics and crashes. Yes.
Did you hit the button?
Yeah, I think I did that, but maybe.
You sure?
Okay.
Crash me up.
Okay.
No. I think you didn't do that.
It always takes a few minutes, but this is way too long for it. I think can also try with this. However, this works in a few of our production applications, so maybe there are some lags at the App Center today. But okay, let's change this into this. Okay, let's run it once again. Yes. So apparently I didn't click that button because it's the old exception. So you can click on it and you have stack trace, which is really nice. You can navigate through the threads. You can see the reports, affected users, and to most important information. So the devices and the OSs. As a mobile developers, you know that sometimes one or two models of the Android phones have very quirky implementation of the Android API. So this helps a lot. Let's go back to the build. It's still building. It's 3 minutes. Yes, it finished. Great. So let's go. Let's download it. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, I'm on a mobile, so this can take a second. We do have a beautiful application here. So the build succeeded. So what can I say more about the build? Maybe something important, which is the build pricing. So there is a free tier, which is really good, but for not enterprise applications, you have a 240 build minutes per month for free, and your builds can take up to 30 minutes, and this is completely free. If you need some more support and bigger values, you can pay $40 a month, and this give you the unlimited build minutes and build time. However, it will not be parallel building, so the builds will be queued and executed on one machine. So for every $40, you will get another machine, basically. Okay. So now we can go to testing. So what do we need to set up tests on the App Center? First, we'll need to create the Xamarin UI test project. We'll have to set up the test on the App Center and upload test to the App Center from the command line. So let's do this. Here we'll add the new project. It will be UI test, Xamarin UI test. Okay. Now we'll have to first rebuild it. Okay, the Nugget packages are here. And now we have to do some changes to it. We don't need the iOS, so we are going to delete it. And here we'll want to configure it a little bit differently. So this will be, we'll have Android. Then we want to give it the installed app. And then startup. Install app need the name of the APK file. So I will switch to the downloads and find that out. It will be here. No, the date is incorrect. Let's go here. Okay. save this. Not open. So to be honest, testing is most difficult to set up on the App Center, and you have to do some command line stuff to make it happen, but it's still not shell scripting. Okay, so let's go to the downloads folder. Let's delete the old build. Extract, here it is. Yes. Copy the name and paste it here. Okay, so this is the app initializer. Now we need to write a test. Here we would like to delete the iOS part once again. Okay. And now I'm gonna copy this because it's quite a few lines and we're running short on the time. Okay, so what is going on out here? This first line is basically waiting for the element to be loaded. This element is the title. Here, automation ID's title label. Maybe we can run it here. Okay. So first we are waiting for this to load. Then we are going to make a screenshot, assert that that this label is loaded. Then we're gonna tap the device info button, and then we're gonna screenshot once again. It's a very simple test. Your tester would probably write it better, but I'm not a tester. Okay. So we have the test written. Now we will need to go to the App Center. Okay. We need to start testing our app. I have a very simple configuration here. However, I will choose other because to be fair, we need only one form. Now we need to choose the test framework. We're going with the Xamarin UI test. Next. And now we'll need to go to the command line. So first of all, you have to install the App Center CLI. It's done with the npm. And then we'll need to run this command. So what this basically does, it's gonna tell the App Center to run the UI tests. This is for the Xamarin UI tests. It's gonna point the app. It's gonna point the devices which we selected on the first step. Then we have to provide it with the path to the APK and path to the build directory. And this doesn't work on my machine. I had to modify it slightly. I will show you in a minute how. Okay, so let's start the command prompt. So first, we'll need to log into the App Center. Okay. So we are logged in. That's great. And now we'll have to add our special command to run the tests. Okay, so in my case, I needed to add one slight modifications because somehow the nugget wasn't working as intended on my machine. So I had to point it towards the text toward the this file, the test-cloud.exe. Other than that, we'll have to modify the build directory. Okay. So this is gonna be downloads. I'm gonna copy it. This is it. Okay. Okay, and I'm gonna go and copy this as well. So I have to point it towards the APK. So the APK is here. I think the name is all right, and the path. C users password downloads builds. Okay, so we have to remove the one build. Okay. Let's go. Right, this should work. Let's try it. All right, I did the build directory. It should be the build directory of the Xamarin UI test. So this would be here. All right, and I think I have to rebuild it as well. Okay. Yes, now it works. Okay, so it prepared the test, so it validated the arguments, it's creating, it's uploading the files. So the process already started. Soon it will be here to show it. Okay. So in the meantime, because it will take a few minutes. Yes, I can walk you through the test pricing. Well, this is not entirely free. To be fair, it's a 30-day free trial, and then you have to pay $100 for this. However, I strongly advise you to do it because it's a great feature. I will see how it works in a few minutes because it have to set up in the background. Let's go and distribute the app. So to do this, we'll have to first set up the testers group on the App Center. Second, choose a build, and then just hit the distribute. So let's do just that. We are here. Okay. Let's leave it like this. I had to add a group. So let's go and call this Xamarin Mobile Devs Meetup, and we'll allow the public access for it. Okay, and now we can distribute a new artifact to the group. So come on. Okay, so let's hit the distribute. And right now, any of you with the Android phone can just copy this QR code and download this app. It would be nice if you would do this so we can see some analytics then.
Sorry, I'm iOS user.
Yes, me also. I only have a tablet. However, okay. So I'm gonna leave this hanging here.
Maybe let's copy the link to the chat.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Okay. So here I have the link.
I was trying to scan it from my device, but I realized I don't have a scanner app on my Android, and it's not in the native camera. So
one of the reasons to be iOS user. To be honest.
That's a big reason.
Okay, so I would like to talk a little bit more about the distribution because this is for the test versions only. But you can also do this to the store. We don't have time today to connect to the store. However, it's also fairly simple. We have to generate the API credentials from the Google Dev Console, upload it here, and set up the app initially on the Google Play Store. Then you can add this distribution as a part to the build process, for example. It's all in the hands of you, and you have to click through the App Center interface. Yet again, nothing to do on the script side. Okay, installed and crashed. That's great. Well, it crashed a few times, so we can go to the diagnostics soon. We can see the analytics. We have right now 6 users. We have all the devices here, so Galaxy Note 20, Armor 5, P30 Pro, Galaxy S10. So as you can see, we have 2 users from Poland, 2 from the United States, 1 from Denmark, 1 from India. So all the info is here. I think this is pretty impressive for a one-liner in the app setup. But let's go. So I think the test should already run. Let's go and see here. It's still running. Okay. Test completed. Great. So this should appear here any moment now. Not yet. Okay, we have a report here. But it should be also accessible here any moment. Huh. Okay, let's go through here. So, that's pretty funny. Am I in the right application? I think I am in the right application. Right, so here, as you can see, we had 2 devices and the test passed. And here you can see the screenshots taken. So once again, when this is usable, when this is helpful, so you go through the diagnostics and see one particular error, which is going on the one single device. Then you can test it on that one device, because I think the App Center can test on 3,000 different devices. It's quite a lot. It's quite a big set of devices. But let's go here. Then you can just view every data which is in your test projects. You can view the logs. Everything is right here. So guys, I think that this is everything for today. I think that that this is really impressive, because in around 40 minutes, we have done the remote building, we have done the remote test running, we have added analytics, diagnostics, and distribution channel. And I think if you don't have this set it up in your applications, you should try it. For us, it was a real game changer when we started using this. So what's next? Next, I would like to notify you that our company is recruiting. As I said, we are building pretty cool stuff. We never hesitate to use the new cool technologies, and we're looking for the developers like you, so the ones which spend their free time on the meetups. We like to talk about the code a lot. And what do you need to know? There is one little thing. You have to speak Polish to join the company. This is the politics. So here is the link to the job post. And now this is all. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. If I know the answer, I will gladly answer them. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Konstanty. So one question from me. Does App Center still support sending push notifications?
Well, to be honest, it does support it for now, but I think they still support it, but they announced they are going away from the push notifications, and that is the right decision, because I've used it and it was really clunky. There was a really small amount of options to go through, and if you would like to set up a few audiences, it was really pricey. As for me, the best way to go into push notifications is the Firebase, because it's free for the most part, and you have all the options out there.
So Firebase also support iOS?
Yes.
Okay, are there another questions? Because I have a few more.
What's your favorite part about App Center?
For me, I think all of them are really nice. to be fair with you, what is cool that you don't need to use them all. For example, in our company, we cannot upload the source code to the servers which are not on the premises. We can upload the build artifacts, but not the code itself. So we are just uploading the builded APKs and IPAs to the App Center through the CLI in our building scripts. So it's really flexible. For me, the biggest help was the distribution. Back in 2017, I think, when we used the Hockey app. It was previously called the Hockey app, and we had the process of manual process of generating a test version for our testers. It took around 10 minutes. It was really primitive and time consuming. Then we set it up Jenkins and distributed this through the Hockey app, and we saved, I think, 300 hours in one project just on this, because we distributed like 2,000. We did 2,000 builds on that machine. Every build would take us 10 minutes, so those numbers are pretty convincing. Another thing which I like is oh, I lost the words. Sorry. I think I like most of them, and the biggest argument for me is that it's free. So you don't have to go to your boss and say, hey, it's me again. I need your credit card to purchase some cool engineering stuff, and you don't have to explain that to our client. So that's cool as well.
We have one question from the chat. So the question is it possible to run unit tests on App Center?
Ooh, to be fair, I haven't tried because once again, in work we don't upload any source code to the App Center, and in the scope of this presentation, I haven't done it, and I don't really know. I think if you would have the pipeline in the Azure DevOps can connect with the App Center, so you would have probably to set up the continuous integration on the Azure DevOps and then push it to the App Center. However, that's my guess. I haven't heard of the unit testing on the App Center. However, sorry, after a quicker consideration, the Xamarin UI tests are the NUnit tests. So you can probably just add some tests there, because those are the text pictures, the test. I will share my screen once again.
Yeah, I think you can put it in the pre-built scripts, isn't it? Even the post-build scripts, because there's shell scripting, so you can launch it through that.
Yeah, however, it's I think it's a bit more complicated than what I show it to you today. Look, the tests are just the NUnit standard test pictures setup test. So I think you can put some logic in here to be tested. But that's my guess.
Okay, I have one more question. On the analytics page, I saw there is a possibility to export data to application insights. Have you ever used it? Can you tell us something more about this?
No. To be honest, I haven't used it. So that's my answer.
Okay.
I can go in for that. I have used it in the past. Essentially, there is a limit on how long the data is stored for, especially like analytics. So it basically only stores it for 90 days, if I remember correctly. And so if you want to store it for longer than that, if you want to keep data, compare year over year and things like that, you can activate app analytics, and then it stores it in, I believe, a blob storage in Azure. And so you can use like a blob storage explorer to access that data on app analytics in Azure.
Yeah, all right, thanks. And yeah.
I have a question actually. It might be a bit out of topic, but there's so many Xamarin developers here. So like right now I saw like certain hacks for like decompiling our applications. So to prevent that, in my previous institution, we used to use ProGuard, but like still I don't think that is effective. You guys can suggest like anything which is like for like to stop the decompiling of the code. Like there are lots of apps there, like lots of ways there to decompile the code and get like a part of the source code. So for banking application, yeah.
Well, I think you can never obfuscate your code enough, because there will be always way to deobfuscate it. You have to do some thinking in the design of the security in your application. So even if someone sees your source code without some signing, without some certificates, he cannot he cannot do anything with it. And then, of course, you should obfuscate your application, and we are using the .fuscator Pro for that. However, I'm not the one who configured it, so I will not tell you in details about it.
So, but maybe you could answer this question. So you are using .fuscator for both Android and iOS?
Wait a second. I think we have my colleague who configured the .fuscator here. Bartek, do you hear us? Can you answer this? Maybe he's not here.
He's not getting paid to give this answer, so.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty interesting topic. So, guys, Konstanty, if have a colleague which is doing something like that, maybe he will be interested in creating a presentation about this, because it's pretty interesting stuff and pretty important, because security is obviously important in mobile applications.
I will talk to him.
No, actually, this came up because I came against a hacking site. Actually, I'm part of that. So there, one guy was doing it. So I was like, oh my God, my institutional application can also be hacked like this very easily. So,
Yeah,
by the way,
that's why you don't put SQL. That's why you don't put
Mhm.
data about your SQL server. They can delete your entire SQL server.
By the way, can you just type on the product that you were using? I didn't get the pronunciation.
Oh, yeah. It's .fuscator, I think. It's like here.
Okay.
There is a free tier, but the paid one is offers much more. Here you have a link.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
So back to App Center. Last question from me. What other alternatives you could, suggest?
Well, to be honest, I've started with the Hockey app and the Xamarin Test Cloud, and then it developed into one product. So I haven't looked for it. I know the Amazon has a mobile devices farm. I don't know if Google Cloud Platform offers something like that as well. However, App Center, it's really easy to use the Microsoft stuff in the Xamarin framework and in .NET generally speaking. So I don't know. So did I use variables in the build? Yes, I use the free variables to set up the Java key store. However, you can put many more. You can go through your csproj file, add some build configuration, and then insert some environmental variables. It's possible.
Yeah, I did use it for making different apps on iOS, and with App Center post and post build and post clone. So you can change some things in your files. So you can give it a different name, for instance, for testing. So. Okay. Thank you.
All right. So are there any other questions? Okay, I don't hear any questions. So, Konstanty, thank you once again for that great presentation. Lots of interesting stuff. And now I guess let's take like 2 minutes break. And Samir, we will start your presentation. Okay, guys, 2 minutes.